About 7,640. That's how many islands there are in the Philippine archipelago, and each island has its own story. Many people, both human and non-human, migrated to the Philippines over thousands of years, whether it may be from the Diwata of old to the first human tribes such as the Aetes or the Negritos. This place has hardly ever been monolithic. In such a diverse land of different peoples, everyone plays out like an ecosystem. And just like any ecosystem, there are predators that roam the land seeking prey. The most well-known of such predators are the Aswang. The Aswang themselves are not one uniform group. Aswang is an umbrella term referring to shape-shifting creatures, usually malicious, that can vary from vampires like the Danang, ghouls like the Barbalang, witches like the Mandurugo, werbeasts like the Sigbin, and many more. A well-known example is the Manananggal, a winged creature that detaches itself from its legs and lower torso to feed on the unborn fetus of pregnant women with its viscera-sucking tongue. The Aswang are widely feared throughout the land, even though most stories have them positioned in the islands like the Visayas. Different sources vary saying what countermeasures would make them vulnerable. Usually protection involved holy objects and other items such as salt, stingray tails, and even urine. Special oils from coconuts can also be used if prepared properly. How Aswang came to be depends on different accounts. Aswang in places like Bicol or Penay or Mindanao all vary in origin. There are many stories. As mentioned before, the Aswang are diverse both in form and behavior. But the most common story, at least in Bicol, is that Aswang can transfer their powers to another person thanks to a black chick that lies within their bodies. They transfer it mouth to mouth. Disgusting, I know. Be careful, balut enthusiasts. Sometimes those Aswang can be tricky in trying to think they have some special balut they give out. You would be surprised how many people don't know balut is an embryo than a full chick. Another origin is in the province of Capiz, but this is more tragic. A form of dystonia, ex-dystonia, Parkinsonism, XPD, or lubag, is a vicious genetic affliction that puts many victims there through symptoms that make them seem like Aswang because of specific behavior associated with the dystonia. People fear this and ostracize the afflicted as well as deny treatment. It does not help them there's also a secret disease that only non-humans like Castic Palang know that is almost like dystonia, except it does turn people into Aswang. A more compounding dilemma comes forth when one can't tell if someone is turning into Aswang or needs treatment. Kinda fucked up. This detail is more secret to humans, but the Aswang have also come into consistent conflict with my people, the Tigbalang. Over the years, mostly due to the association of certain Encanto, who we were rivals with. That all changed ever since the Spanish colonized the Philippines. Over the years, the Aswang were slowly retreating to the remote corners of the Philippines, whether it be dark jungles or deep caves, in reaction to the encroachment of colonization that made it difficult for Aswang to openly engage in their hunts. Aswang, surprisingly, in times past, avoided large-scale conflict. At most, a few became mercenaries for the Encanto of Beringan who sided with the Americans during the Philippine-American War. But that changed during World War II when fighting Japanese invaders and again when they got pissed that the CIA framed them for killing Hawk guerrillas. The CIA would drain Hawk victims of their blood and say they were killed by Aswang vampires. Hogpalahap were communist guerrilla fighters from the 40s and 50s that fought the Japanese and then the Philippine government. The rebellion was actually a three-way fight since the Aswang were forced to join it, until the CIA blackmailed them into backing down. Apparently, the Americans hate communists more than they hate literal vampires and ghouls. Many of the Aswang diminished in number in the 20th century, and learning from having mobilized as a group in past conflicts, would try to live in enclaves in the wilderness with a more organized society to keep up with the times. Pacts were made with humans and other non-humans to keep things regulated. That changed around the 20s of the new millennium, when the corporate conglomerate known as Abraxas came to power in the US. They sought to expand their influence worldwide. The Philippines was meant to be a testing ground for many upcoming projects. One of the subsidiaries, Pinnacle, is a construction and infrastructure development company that introduced the concept of nanomachines in use for city development such as new skyscrapers, quicker sanitation, 7G cellular networks, and efficient public transportation. The deal they had with the Philippine government was so attractive they didn't even hesitate on their terms. They would even introduce an AI-run defensive network called the Legazpi M1565 that sought to deter the country's enemies from encroaching on the Philippines. It was also used to purge many groups domestically, including dissidents and non-humans, the Aswang being the biggest example. Many of them were killed in drone strikes, as well as by powerful monsters, summoned and twisted to become thralls to the defense system. Many of the Aswang knew they could not flee to remote areas, so they sought a different approach. They would go into hiding in the cities of the country: Manila, Cebu, Zamboanga City, Makati, Davao, and so on. They knew they could not have any sense of mobility, as the world of monsters is secret to most of humanity. They turned to the only profession that made sense for their kind: crime. Many of them formed gangs and cartels to carve their power in the country, as well as enact vengeance for the purge campaigns. The Aswang Brotherhood is currently the largest Aswang gang in the country, with presence in Luzon and the Visayas. From drug and human trafficking to political assassinations, the Aswang sought to bring down human society by exploiting the key issues that have kept the Philippines down for years. And that usually meant corruption. Of course, Pinnacle and the government used this as an excuse to further their reach into the average citizen's everyday lives with so-called reforms that cement their authority. The average citizen? Well, the average citizen is just trapped between all this. But what can be done to bring about meaningful change? That's something I have been thinking about, but that's a story for another time. So ends the history of the Aswang, with more to be written in the days ahead.